Let's start off with the man. And of course, Kraken has no disruption whatsoever. Kraken's also tricking people with his icon. He wants you to think that he is playing Odeon when in fact he's a Maliss enjoyer. Treasure the Kings, we're going to be adding the Scorpion Circuit. Let's further make a Silhouette Rabbit here. Silhouette's going to set into the back row, continues trap, perfect synergy. We are going to be getting our White Rabbit out to set a trap into the back row. GWC is ready. Now, what can Thanos the Mad Lad do? Silhouette Rabbit can pop back row cards. That's not really a disruption, I'd say, against this deck. Now, we have the Apophis Serpent plus the Apophis Swamp Deity. This is going to be able to negate multiple cards in the field, and we could do it at least twice. And then we have Purge, and we have Ash without Quadra Disruption. There we go. We got the double non-target negate. Let's it did not, he couldn't activate GWC. It wasn't activatable. Let's Lingeribo. Now, Lingeribo, how does this work? When your opponent activates a trap card, yep, it's not a normal trap, it's any trap. We're going to be able to negate and banish it. Let's Signet Mining, discard away the Retaliating Sea. Purge. Do we Lingeribo? No. No Lingeribo. We're going to chain MTP, though, and then get ashed. Okay. Well, Lingeribo looks pretty cool in the field, though. And we now pass our turn. All right. Well, White Rabbit, come back. We're not done. We've only just begun. Lizardos is now here. Banished from the graveyard by cost, not an effect that you can negate. As we grab back the March Hare mate, March Hare banishes. We now get ready for our Link 3. Link 3 it up into the White Binder, which will on someone banish from either player's graveyard. But we're passing on that effect. We're instead activating a set of trap from the deck, which we're going to Swamp Deity, go for that negate. TB11 mate is going to dodge the negate, and we're going to negate the TB11. So there is a good gameplay theory with Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is inherently, we're all thinking about this, the more you know about Yu-Gi-Oh!, the later you activate your effects. Generally, it's better to activate your effect at the last possible moment. This was a moment where that wasn't a good idea. If you know they have a TB11, if you know they could dodge your negate, you have to think about possibly negating before they activate, but then you have to think, are they just going to come back and activate? So there's two things you have to consider. Can they dodge your negate, or can they use their hard once per turn negate after they dodge it and come back even if you negate them early? So that would be the case here where they would be able to come back. But in fact, you would Swamp Deity 1, negate, they banish, it comes back, it tries to activate again and they can't dodge it, then you would negate it again. I'm not saying that was the correct play to do, but it's something you do want to consider. Negate the TB11, as we will be setting up the GWC and reborning back here, drawing one, as Thanos the Mad is out of disruption. He's done. So with the single White Binder, what can we do? As we banish 3 cards away from their graveyard, to battle we go, take the Mad Lad out. Do we have disruption? We do. We could set up the MTP from, well, MTP is banished actually. So to get the MTP back in circulation, you have to make a Crypto, return it back, then set it with the White Rabbit. I guess we just have impermanence, or a banish of the graveyard with White Binder if you want to consider that as a disruption, which is not really going to be that strong against Odeon. Let's imperm, negate the barrel. No Primite nonsense for you. Not today. Now, as we further link this up into a Little Knight on summon is going to be banishing away the GWC. We're just going to flip it up here, reborn back the White Rabbit. Rabbit has no traps to set. We're done. We're going to get completely out-resourced by Odeon here. The Divine Serpent Apophis, if that resolves, you're done. It's over. They just recycled 2 traps they already had good effect against you. They're going to be able to negate you twice again on the next freaking turn. Whatever you top deck into, there's way too many disruptions. Song of the Dominators, a monster effect on field, straight up negate. Let's Fool Loss it up, mate, as we now take this into game 2. Interesting. We did see Retaliating Sea, so I think the Retaliating Sea is growing in prevalence. Dormouse. Song of the Dominate, mate. You can't even dodge this. Now, if I were to imperm, you could try to jump off the field. You ain't jumping with the Dominator. And imperm can't negate a card like Sky Striker 0 jumping off the field. You just chain directly to it, it's negated. Let's Dormouse reborn back. We have an Ash Blossom and Purge. White Binder does not search, it sets. We're going to banish away the Song of the Dominators. Wait, we can't even activate that, right? The Dominators has a restriction. If you activate this card from your hand, you cannot activate monsters in your hand, graveyard, or banishment until the end of the next turn. Ash is dead, but we can still purge. Just purge. Purge a search. TB11 into the White Rabbit. Let's... Great purge. That was the best purge. Holy moly. Binder is now stuck banished. What the heck? Help me, stepbrother, I'm banished. We have Impulse, Druiswarm, Ghost Spell. The man is here grabbing Treasure of the Kings. Treasure of the Kings is going to be setting up the Apophis Trap. We are going to be further searching for the Merciless Scorpion since we have a trap in the grave. And this is why it is important. If you're playing against Odeon, you do want to banish their traps in the graveyard. Otherwise, they have to set their cards in the hand to even make this activatable to search the deck for a monster. Grab and Temple the Kings, which will make a newly set card activatable the turn it's set. Let's flip up the Apophis Serpent. Impulse is going to negate the special summon Mate. Very well done. Now, from here, what can Odeon do? We have the Lordy Load, but we already used up our normal summon. As we Lordy Load someone onto the field, nothing because you're attempting to possibly summon from the graveyard even though there's nothing there. Now, to battle we go. We did turn off the Drill Beam, which is going to be quite beneficial. We have Druiswarm and Chesty Cat, which is full combo. We got the play. This is the way. We may even want to Druiswarm banish the Dormouse during the opponent's end phase. Possibly. And that's exactly what we're going to do, either the White Rabbit or the Dormouse. We got the White Rabbit, Reborn back, activate to set from the deck into our GW. Now, with the Drill Beam being dead, we have the Silhat Rabbit, which could pop a back row. We have the Apophis Swamp Deity. This negates per other continuous trap control. We control none. We don't have any other negates. This is not a disruption. If this card inherently negated, then it would be a ridiculously good trap in any deck you want. Dead Drill Beam. Dead Apophis Trap. We just have Ash. That's it. This will pop with Silhat. That's it. We're triggering the Silhat. Now, Silhat cannot be destroyed by battle. Wait, it's a normal monster. Holy shoot. That's crazy. Okay, Drill Beam got turned on by the Apophis. That's something I did not consider. Very well done. That is really good synergy. Damn. You know, he was thinking he turned off the Drill Beam by stopping the Lordy Load. As we now summon our Dormouse and Wizard, banish from the deck, March Hare, add back to the hand here. As we now link this up into the Cryptor. Cryptor with the non-target banish is ready. We have Druiswarm sending the Swamp Deity to the graveyard, Reborn back as we further go into the Access Code Talker. Access the codes, bot boost up, banish the Cryptor, non-target pop away the Silhat that cannot be destroyed by battle, Reborn back the Cryptor, and we have over 10,000 damage. Taking this into game number 3. Both players here are just trying to beat Draco Tail. Hey, we got Retaliating Seas. We're just crossing paths here with the same goal. Ooh, I think game 1 disappeared. That was actually game 3. We do have Butler setting the Destructive Cannon Daruma or the Big Welcome. It's going to be the Daruma. Whenever we want. Now, it's very difficult is Onomat could special summon endlessly. So how do we effectively deal with them? Well, Max C. There you go. That's exactly how you deal with them. And right before they rank 4 exceeds, that is when we could potentially Daruma flip them down. Mirror searching for the Habakiri. He ends on 0 disruption, but Labyrinth isn't known for one-turn killing. We could safely pass. Well, is it completely safe? They're going to build up an immense field of a ton of disruption in the back row, possibly setting up a perfect way to floodgate you. Lovely Labyrinth from the deck with a field spell. Let's pop a card on the field as we now trigger the Lovely to randomly take out a card from the hand. Chandelier triggering to add back to the hand here. Gone Borrowed Knight randomly destroyed. There goes our normal summon as we grab the Coup Clock. Clock will now allow a newly set trap to be activatable. We'll set up the big welcome for that big play. Big welcome is the way. Let's summon, return back Ariana, then 3K to the face. Did we miss lethal? I guess this had to search for the Coup Clock, right? Because otherwise, if we did not use this effect, we could have returned back the Lovely, then trigger Ariana to re-summon back the Lovely to then attack for game. But we needed the clock, I guess. to even do that play. We're going to discard the Ariana with Chandelier, setting up the Welcome Labyrinth here, as we have the clock triggering to add back to the hand. Oh boy. Non-target pop. We have a Floodgate set up potentially into a Dimensional Bear, which could declare Xyz, and then we are super screwed. And then we have Daruma to flip face down the entire field. We could also pop a card with the lovely Labyrinth. Field spell, that is. Pop. And here's the Floodgate setup. This is it. We're setting up the Dimensional Bear. It's got to be. There's no other better card to set here. Declare Xyz, easy win. Yup. Should this card be banned? I think so. Yeah. Even though it's not prevalent, I don't care. Ban it. Ritual! We declared Ritual! Not Xyz, okay. Interesting. He does play Ritual. All right. Bam. Let's summon the Torby, use the effect of the field spell to wipe away, then further trigger the Lovely, as we're also going to randomly draw a card. We still have Daruma, as we take out the glove. Daruma could wait. Once they get 2 more bodies on the field, they try to Xyz. Nope, flip them down. So this means we have to be able to summon 4 monsters. That's going to be the only... Can we summon 4 monsters? Let's find... Well, now we can't. We maybe could have. Let's special summon the Coats, and that's a GG. Yup. Let's trigger the field spell. We could summon from the deck still. Saji. We couldn't... Wait, we could still get a level 4? Holy moly! Prayers is still gonna get another level 4 out. Yeah, okay. Well, it do be that way. Let's hop into game number 2. Life points are relevant in Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. That was their final duel. What a way to go out. Very well done. What is this? Galaxy Tacheyon, Zubagaga Doodoo, and we have the Mitsurugi engine on top of this. I guess this is spicy. Yeah, definitely. We're going to Ash, Negate, the Maxi Mate. How much Galaxy Eyes is this, though? It very much is a lot of it. I mean, if we have the Neo Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon, then I'm ready. As Giant Hand, this used to be an exclusive prize support card, meaning all the plebs that couldn't win YCS, or I believe it was called a Shonen Jump back in the day, they just wouldn't have this card. This is a generic monster negate. Monster activated on the field, detach 2, target 2, then negate. All right. Return 2 from the grave, back. Tacheyon, searching our deck for the X-Ray Zeal. I think the card was worth thousands, though, right? You wouldn't want to play it. You'd immediately lose all its value. We do have the ability to wipe the field, force them to discard, negate with the impermanence, negate with the Giant Hand. We could then pop 4 times, even though we have 3 materials thanks to the Eclipse Twins. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a Max C. 8 disruption, and any of those pops could be a negate instead. Let's go. 8 disrupt. Oh man, really? You gotta Max C him? Habakiri, force him to discard. Gladly, we'll discard for sure. Let's get rid of the Murakumo, so we're now down to 7 disruption. As we Saji, tribute off to trigger and search for nothing, because cross negates. All right, down to 6 disruption. Doo-Doo Warrior, send the glove. Glove is going to attempt to reborn. We're gonna pop away the Doo-Doo Warrior, and then we can summon the coat. Let's coat it up. 5 disruption left. Glove is going to get negated by the Giant Hand. We summon the coat. We're going to non-target, wipe away the fields. Wipe it with 3 more disruption left. We're scooping it up. And that was it. That's game 3. Boom. Ariana, Imperm, negate. We're going to chain special summon Lady Labyrinth Mate. As we set our Ice Dragon Prison, discard Chandelier to set up the big Welcome Labyrinth here. Get ready. We're going to be using our own Torby in the end phase to set up our own big Welcome Labyrinth. her any normal trap activation, the lady could directly chain to it to set a trap for the deck as we activate our big welcome to set a Dominus Impulse, special summoning Lovely, return back the lady, trigger the Ariana and the Lovely to pop a card in the field or in the hand. As we big welcome, special summon from the deck our own Lady Labyrinth as we add back the Chandelier here, randomly taking out the Ariana from the hand as we set from our hand the Dogmatic of Punishment, not activated on the turn it's set. Set to pass as we Lady Labyrinth summon during the end phase. We're going to Ice Dragon Prison. Reborn your own Lovely. Your Lovely is now my Lovely as we now banish away the Lady and Lovely. Holy moly, that's the game-winning play. We win. It's done. It's over. Ice Dragon Prison wins the whole duel. Big welcome is going to be returning back in response to the Dogmatic of Punishment. Thus, it won't send a fusion from the extra deck because it has no attack value to, choose what to send. As we chain our Welcome Labyrinth, they further chain their Impulse Negate. We're going to Trap Trick, chain set for the deck. Lady Labyrinth, chain link 7, further set from our own deck. Now, this rollback's not activated on the turn it's set, but what we would set from the Trap Trick would be set 3. I mean, that's all we need to win. It's over. Lady Labyrinth is going to be special summoning because a Labyrinth card was activated. We're going to Impulse Negate. Now, for the rest of this duel, Light, Earth, and Wind cannot activate. Do we care about that? I guess that would mostly just be the extra deck, or if we draw into a Max C, no good. Welcome, Labyrinth. You impulse me, I impulse you, but I'm not going to be under the restriction of Impulse as I activate it for my back row. Negate the Welcome Labyrinth. As we are just going to set to pass. We have Terrors of the Overroot, targeting a card the opponent controls to send it to the graveyard. As we simultaneous Equation Cannons to non-target banish away all of the opponent's face-down cards, chaining Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle. Let's do this. Big welcome's going to set from the deck as we're going to be banishing a 3, 3, and a 2. That equals level 8. And then it wasn't even activated to banish mate. Well done. Let's battle phase, 3K to the face, big welcome Labyrinth, directly chain to the big welcome to set a trap from the deck here. As we now have another regular welcome, as we summon our Lovely, return back Lady, trigger the Lovely to non-target, pop a card in the field, imperm, negate the Lovely Labyrinth mate. Ku Klok's gonna be sent to the grave to ensure that the newly set welcome Labyrinth will be activatable. This is it. And did we make a mistake? So the Ku Klok states that you can activate a normal trap if you control Labyrinth monster. Couldn't this ensure that you wouldn't control Labyrinth monster? Target a card your opponent controls and one card in the graveyard, send the one in the field, which would be the Lovely, and if you do, set the other card from the grave. But you'd have to do it in response to the Ku Klok. Now that it has resolved, we could chain the welcome to the Terror. So we did miss out here, but don't we have the ability to still special summon a Lady from the hand, I believe? We're going to be activating Welcome Labyrinth to summon from the deck our Ariana. As you reset our simultaneous Equation Cannon, Ariana's going to be triggering to search our deck for a Labyrinth card, triggering your own Welcome Labyrinth and Torby since a monster left the field through a trap effect, as we have Torby. Let's big welcome set from the deck with the back jack, looking at the top 3 cards of our deck, and then during the opponent's turn, you can banish this to then excavate the top card of your deck, then activate it the turn it was set. Lady Labyrinth, in response, we have Torby discarding Dimensional Barrier to set from the deck to be ready to use it during our very next turn. Big welcome and welcome are ready and primed. Lady Labyrinth is ready also to be chaining to your trap effects. First, we're going to welcome. Well, I'm going to chain Lady. Lady set a trap from the deck, and that trap that we set will be activatable right then and there. We're also going to chain Big Welcome Labyrinth. We want the Lovely to come out, to then trigger, to then pop a card in the field. Lovely from the hand, deck, or grave. This is Ghost Bellable, and you do want to bell it. So is this a good time to be playing Labyrinth with more people playing Ghost Bell? As we set up that Impulse, ready to now negate the Big Welcome. How could we have prevented this? Drex identified that he is setting up a Big Welcome play, so he sets up his own Dominus Impulse. Could Hakuma have played around it? Yes. The way to play around this is instead of planning a Welcome, Resolve, then Big Welcome, you have to big welcome, then chain welcome. But, you know, then things would have worked out differently and they would not be able to impulse negate. As we're going to be triggering our welcome labyrinth in the graveyard because a monster left the field through a trap effect, we are done. We know that impulse is going to clap us up. Ariana Labyrinth, searching for the Lady Labyrinth. Special summon. In response, we got our Max freaking C. As transaction rollback, we'll be able to copy a trap from the opponent's graveyard. Normally, you want this in your own graveyard, but not against an opposing trap deck. As we have a big welcome labyrinth. Now, this is it. Lady versus Lady, finally, after 3 games. How this will work is the first player to activate a trap loses because then the other player will be able to chain their lady, chain link blocking the other lady. So it's going to be a game of chicken. Who will activate their trap first? Trap trick already does it. Okay, I'm going to chain my lady. We better set something good here. What is that good card going to be? You know, we get to activate our own lady after this one resolves and sets, sure. So it's good to see how important Impulse is in this mirror match. Ho 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 ho! Hakimo is now sweating bullets. Oh no, I'm gonna lose everything. Holy shite. And we're activating it right away. Chaining our own lady. And just like that, let's see if we are able to banish away the entire field. We're gonna send a 4/4 and a 4, and we're gonna be using their lady to send back a 4 and a 4. That is 8, mate. Banish away the entire freaking field. Just like that. Oh my gosh. You know what? He didn't surrender before it resolved. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Begin. Maliss going first. We have the White Rabbit setting up the TB11. TB it up. Banish. We're going to chain the Max C to you. Our forms of disruption will be the ability to non-target banish and negate anything, plus we have Max freaking C. Let's go. Rahu Draco Tail is going to get negated. Now, very important ruling. A lot of people are not understanding this. I've been seeing some commentary. Can only activate 1 per turn. And this card reads that it negates the activation. Could very easily set another one, search another one. I don't care how you get to it. You could activate another one. Do it. Negate the Rahu Draco Tail. We do also have the ability to banish from the graveyard if you want to consider that as a disruption. In response to the Malulu activating the Fusion Summon, we're going to chain Max C to then Ash Blossom, negate the C. Let's GW C it up. With the CGW Reborn back the White Binder, we're going to be activating to banish cards from either player's graveyard. We're going to want to be banishing our own White Rabbit. White Rabbit's going to set up the MTP to the non-target banisher card in the field. Malulu. Now, well, if we would have allowed them to Max C us, we could have then drolled it. And by drolling their Max C, they then can't MTP us. That would have also turned off that card, as we are banishing our White Rabbit in addition to the Pan and the Malulu. Now, while our field's completely untargetable, Malulu and Pan, they don't care. It's a non-target destroy. Set up the key 2, and we're going to negate the transcode. Set up the key 2, another key 2, key 2, key 2, as we also destroy the White Binder. Well, how are we going to banish if we don't have a White Binder on the field? You would think that with an untargetable White Binder, it would be protected. We would at least get to be able to MTP them. Now we can't. We have 0 disruption. So this is a good showcase of the power of Draco Tail turning off their non-target banish play. As we key 2 on resolution, if the opponent controls a monster, we get to additionally perform a Fusion Summon. We also chain link blocks the Gulamel from being able to pop a card in the field here. White Binder being banished will be able to come back. So first we're going to resolve the Kitu into the Arthalion, which will first be triggering to target cards in the graveyard. Lucius also triggering, and then we finally go into the White Binder play. White Binder also Chainlink blocking Gulamel by accident, just naturally. And now we have that non-target banish ready. But how are we going to non-target banish? Well, what do you mean? There's nothing else stopping us. Ash is going back to our hand. Negate, yep, we already activated this. Okay, I got a little too excited, but I thought we were gonna be able to stop this. Rahu Draco Tail. Impulse is going to negate. So we did randomly draw that Impulse off of the White Binder coming back. So a lot of these issues came up with us negating Maxi, kind of, where if we would just allow the Droll. So by negating Maxi with Ash, we now can't Ash an MTP, and they do get to draw. So, you know, maybe that would have been better. Let's take out the Transcode Talker MTP with the non-target banish here. Let's banish away the March Hare, grab the White Rabbit, and say goodbye to the Gulamel. Gulamel continually got Chainlink blocked from being able to pop a card in the field. Droll does turn off your Kitu. That's something you do want to consider with all of this. That is true. You just got to make sure it's worth it. You know, it's just options versus options. And boy, we just have Ash. Yeah, let's get out of here. Ash, negate the Rahu Draco Tail mate. We're done. That's it. Finished. Set Horn pass. Uh-oh. Now, what's great about Horn is one of the best cards to return back is going to be a normal summon, because they can't avoid it. If they normal summon Dormouse, just bounce that fool back. Horn, Veiler, Ash. We have the White Rabbit, which we're just going to return back right here, right now. We're not going to wait for a trap to be set, then dodge it. By dodging the Horn, we would also lose out on the ability to draw a card. So maybe we got to draw into a Max C. Come on, draw into a Fool Loss even. Draw into a Femina. Droll. Okay, Droll's not good against Maliss, but, you know, it's Droll. Droll's a little bit better than Maliss. A little better against Maliss since it's nerfs, at least. With our Triple Disruption, we have the White Rabbit Reborn back, TB11. We could potentially Ash this. We will. Negate. And we are ready with Veiler and Droll and Lockbird, but we still don't have a follow-up play. Even if we survive this turn, we're gonna have to deal with an Impulse and Impermanence. Impulse, Imperm on whatever we newly draw. Now this works out. Unfortunately for Abomod, the Impulse will destroy it. Otherwise, if this gets impermed, who cares? I'll activate it again during the opponent's turn to attempt to fusion summon again. This is where the Impulse is going to end our day. Yeah, the Impulse. Impulse kills us here. Otherwise, fully plays, you know, not fully, but plays around the impermanence quite well. Where this is where you got to think. I have a Malulu and a Lucius. What's better to summon? Malulu is going to be a weaker turn probably, but it's going to be more resilient to hand traps. Would you rather have something than nothing? You can't Ash the Malulu, and if you imperm it will be activatable again. We have just Veiler and Droll again, but, you know, we're just playing off the top of our freaking deck, and they still have the impermanence. Banishing, setting up the GWC. Let's link up into the Cryptor here. Reborn back. What can we do? It's not Abomod's fault. He bricked. He freaking bricked. Now, can we make this Abomod's fault? Sure. If he's playing 3-pan, then, you know, this is a brick. He's obviously not playing 3-pan, but, you know, that is something to, damn, just draw better. Let's keep on going.